Hi everyone, this is Tejas again, and this video is for how you will be able to add the server as a PowerShell host into your VRO client and how you will be able to perform some tasks using the VRO on that remote server and what are the basic prereqs for adding the PowerShell host. So we will be dealing with all those stuff. You will be able to know why we are adding and how we are adding. So let's begin with the video. So first I should tell you that the PowerShell plugin allows interaction between the Visualize Orchestrator and the Windows PowerShell. This plugin basically is useful for calling the PowerShell scripts and commandlets from Orchestrator actions and workflows to work with the result obtained from those scripts. So to establish a connection between the PowerShell plugin and the Windows PowerShell, you must configure WinRM. WinRM is basically Windows Remote Management on the server to use one of the supported communication protocol. So let me just get you on the server. So see, this is my server 20.0.0.29. So what I will be able to do is what I should do first. First, I should meet my prereqs so that I can perform those actions. So my prereqs are two things. One is I will be adding the VR client as a trusted host into the server, and the second is I will enable the PS remoting. So how do you add the VR client as a trusted host into the server? So I will get the CMD and I will run the CMD as an administrator, and as this is my command prompt as an administrator, I will be running the Windows remote management script on this command prompt. So see, this script basically allows me to add my VRO as a trusted host into this server. So this server exactly knows that this IP is in my trusted domain. So whenever I try to hit this server using the VRO, it will say yes, you can. See, trusted host is equal to 10.0.0.3. This is the IP of my VRO client. So this is my trusted domain, and let me just open the PowerShell module for you. And in the PowerShell module, I will be performing the enable PS remoting command. Enable hyphen PS remoting. Yes, enter it, and it goes. Just it takes a minute, not a minute, just 10 seconds or 15 seconds sometimes. So see, this is done. Now you have done your prereqs, you have added the trusted host, you have done the enable PS remoting. So what exactly now? So see, now you need to do is you will go into the library in the VRO client, and in this library you will be able to see the PowerShell folder. In this PowerShell folder, there is a configuration folder and there is a workflow called as a PowerShell host. So what we will do, we will start the workflow. See, this workflow is basically for adding that server as a PowerShell host into your VRO client. You're already done with the prereqs. So now the process starts. How will you add the PowerShell host? To run this workflow, there is a name. What exactly this name says? This name says that you should give this unique name. So whenever you see your inventory by which name you have added that server as a PowerShell host, you will be able to identify that this is my PowerShell host for that server. So you provide that name. This is the unique name. You provide a unique name to identify your specific host. What is the host IP? So provide you provide either the IP address or the FQDN host address. So let me just tell you one thing. For Kerberos authentication, we use FQDN. We don't use the IP address. So both provide the port of the host, use port 5985 for HTTP or 5986 for the HTTPS connection. WinRM, PowerShell remote host type. WinRM is we have already done. You should know why we do the enable the WinRM to add the server as a trusted host. Transport protocol. There are two things: HTTP and HTTPS. So select HTTP or HTTPS. If you use the HTTPS transport protocol, the certificate of the remote PowerShell host is imported into the orchestrator piece. So, and there are other authentication mechanisms, basic and Kerberos. Basic authentication, you just need to give some sort of information like username and password. You don't need to edit any file, you don't need to provide any domain names, etc. etc. But when you select the Kerberos, there is a specific mechanism. There is a KRBC file. You need to configure that file accordingly. You need to provide your host into the host file for the cross authentication. We will be dealing with this authentication type and how this KDC, I mean the cross is done, configuration is done sometime later. So as for now, we will select the basic authentication, and in the session mode, as I've already told you in the previously what shared session and the per user session are. So you know what a shared session and a per user session is. Shared session is for the you will add from the administrator, and all of the user in that group will be able to access the instance of the VRO. While the per user session, the user which you have logged in, you will be able to add that host using specific user you have logged in using that account only. So username, you need to provide the username and password for that of the user. And in the shellcode page, we select the IBM 437 or UTF-8. Mostly we use UTF-8 nowadays. IBM 437 we don't use it. Select the type of encoding that the PowerShell uses. So this is basically a type of encoding. When you provide your username and the password, this grid out button will be able to click on the submit button and add your server as a PowerShell host. Let me show you just what these values and how these values are given. See, they're given the name, they're given the host IP. You can provide, like for the HTTP connection, I should say 5985. When I have selected HTTP, I have given the basic authentication. Shared session, chinmay.b@trias.com, and the password you can see this. So this grid out button is not anymore grayed out. You can just submit on this and you can add your server as a PowerShell host. So see, we have already done this for you, and in the inventory you will be able to see your host. This is Win 2016 TST 29. See, the connection URL is 20.0.0.29. Using the administrator account, we have added this server as a PowerShell host. Type is WinRM and the server name is Win 2016 TST 29. So see, all the snap-ins are there. There is no error on this. So this is how when you add your PowerShell host, it reflects in the inventory in the PowerShell module. These are also the PowerShell hosts. See, if I select PS host, 20.0.0.32 is added as PowerShell host. It's 20.0. When I select this, this is 20.0.0.29, the server on which we need to perform some scriptable tasks for you guys. So now we have added the server as a PowerShell host. But what now? So let's create a script, a very simple script. This is the hostname.ps1. Param is when we need to declare or fetch any input from the orchestrator into this PowerShell thing onto this server. So you need to declare param $name. Suppose $name is my input variable, which I will declare in the orchestrator client. So I get this input variable $a equals to hostname. See, hostname indel when 2k16 tst is the hostname of my server. In $a I get the hostname, I print the hostname, and I print the name which I will get as an input from the VRO. So there will be two things which will be printing. The host name will be printing first, and secondly, the name which I will get from the VRO will be printed. So this is my simple script which I have saved as the name hostname.ps1, and the location for that is in C drive hostname.ps1. So this is my location. So let's go into the VRO. So now this is my folder, and in this folder I've created a workflow PowerShell, and I have invoked a script from the PowerShell module. Invoke an external script, and in this scripting I have written my script, and in the where script I have given external script which is kept as an attribute. I have given the path for my script and name which I will be giving as an input. In general attributes you can see external script, the path I have given. This is the exact path for my script. And in the input I have given my host name and name. Host name I should move as an attribute. Now what is this host? This host is that server which I have added as a PowerShell host. So I have moved this as an attribute, and I will set the value. See, this is my host. I've selected my host. I need to perform my action on this host, and this is the path on this host. So that's why I have selected the same host and I given the path. Now this script is ready. So when I will call this script, it will print me two things. First, it will print me the host name, and secondly, it will print me the name that I will be providing from in here from the PowerShell to the the VRO to the PowerShell on that server. So let's validate first. No errors. Run this name. Let the name be Sean. When you submit this, this will get onto that server 20.0.0.29. It will hit the PowerShell module. It will fetch the script, get on the PowerShell module, execute the script, and take the result as in PS object into in here, and you will be able to see the output in the logs. Let's submit it. It's getting on the server, execute the script, fetch the result, and the script is done. Variables, external script, this is there. Output is fetched. Host name you have already declared. Name input you have given as Sean. See, this is your host name, and the next thing you have written is Sean. So this is how the task is performed when you wanted to perform some action from VRO to the remote server. So these are the basic things, how the remote script execution is done onto the remote server. So this is how, and how you need to add your server as a PowerShell host. So these are the basic things. What are the pre-requirements you need to perform before adding a PowerShell host? What are the connection things you need to do? Enable PS remoting, Windows remote management, you need to add that as a trusted host into your server. So these are the basic things you need to perform. So this is a simple script. You can move on with difficult scripts now on and perform whatever you want. And for in case you have any doubt, please contact. Thank you.